my volunteer, and I told him I have obligations, and I told CP, who was doing everything.
He's race
CP,
director back then. Yeah.
I said, I have to be home, but I will help set up. And I'm scrambling, chucking hay bales off for the corners and stuff like that, sweeping and everything. And I went back, and early day cell phones, phone rings. And Chris is going, dude, 3 volunteers haven't showed up. We can't have this race until we have volunteers.
Oh, fuck.
And then I said, all right. And I turned to my wife and said, I got to go. This race is not going to go off. And she goes, what? I said, yeah. You can do this without me.
But, honey, we're newlyweds.
I've never seen her more mad then and ever before, even up to 27 years later, whatever, since we've been married. So it was a bad, bad thing. And I just called Chris. Not going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
I remember that day.
That was nasty.
I also remember that day that the head official looked at Chris and said, as long as I am a USCF, back official, in those days, I think, official, this race will never happen again on this course again, because it was Mother's Day in a huge park with a road that people could cross anytime they want to, and I thought that it was Mother's Day Massacre on so many different levels, because there were so many reasons why that race shouldn't have been happening in that park at that time. And it was a crusher. It was a shame, because I raced that year too. I should have helped. I should have volunteered a fucking race. And I got stuck behind a crash right at the start.
Uh-huh.
And I spent the next
why don't you take a free lap?
Well, no, I didn't crash.
If you get stuck behind a crash, you can take a free lap.
They didn't tell me that at the time. So once everything got going again, half the field was stuck behind it. So
and no one took a free lap?
No.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and then when it took us forever I never caught back on. I never got to the front again. I was a little upset.
And then we had multiple people who brought their parents or their mother to the park for a picnic, and then they can't even cross the road. People are screaming, "Oh, you can't cross!" Yeah. It was just
my mom's old. We don't fucking care. There's a bike race.
You want her to die?
Exactly. It was so bad. And now Tour de the race I can't mention. Yeah, well, we can do it. Is Mother's Day weekend.
Yep.
It's Mother's Day weekend.
I have not raced.
You can't do that.
Or done anything cycling oriented on Mother's Day since 1996. I don't know if I could do it again.
And I know there are people who are listening to this show right now who are going to bust our balls, collective balls, and say, "Oh, just take your wife there and take her out before or after." And I'm just going, do you have a happy marriage?
Yeah.
Do you understand the importance of this day? I mean, Father's Day, fuck it. I mean, just give me a T-shirt and let me cook a steak.
Yeah.
But Mother's Day is a big deal.
Yeah.
And you just don't do that.
Happy Mother's Day. You watch me have fun and do what I want to do and just sit and get bored to tears. Because Mother's Day will be a road race in Waterville.
Oh, it's
it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Yeah, so I'm not doing that either. Yeah, Jay, do you have any?
Might.
There are some one-off days too. Some volunteer parks, some races over by Jack's place. Jack.
Yeah, he's there right now.
He is.
Fact, In fact, right now he's watching his kids' football game.
No, there we go.
Like I said a couple weeks ago, I think it'd be pretty cool if we all went and raced in Portland too, just to see the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When does that series start? Is it a spring or is it just summer months?
It is a July month, or is it? It's either June and July or July type of races.
Okay.
And they are high quality, high intensity, flying races. Even the Cat 4s.
Did you ever do PIR?
I did not. They were around when we were in California.
I keep looking over at my live feed stuff, and the cameras keep kicking out. So hopefully everything's working. If not, Because everything's shit the bed, and I just keep spending money on stuff to make everything work, and keep shit in the bed. So in the meantime, should we check the headlines? Yeah, let's check the headlines.
Work, you sons of bitches!
Cat for Kettner.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Don't need that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do a couple things really quick on my Wi-Fi because something seems to be happening. All kinds of shit while I'm trying to control a podcast. Fingers crossed for Cav is our first story. Mark Cavendish has said at the start of his 2020 season, his Ghent 6-day crash and resulting industries, but noted that he hopes to be back on the bike within a few weeks. The Manxman, who suffered 2 broken ribs, had a punctured lung and a crash on the final night of the famous track event last week, described the crash and the aftermath in an interview on Saturday. Speaking to the Sun newspaper, he said that his first instinct was after hitting the deck was to stand up to show his children who were in attendance that he was okay. He added that he hopes to be back training soon. So I guess what happened is he got right back up, walked off into one of the lie down and was like, I fucking punctured a lung. I need to go to the hospital. Yeah. That's pretty good, Dad. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good, Dad. So did you guys see that? Did anybody catch that crash at all? I
didn't watch it live, but of course I saw the clip.
I've seen the footage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, have Jackson, you have a chance. Why do track crashes always look far worse than any other form of racing?
No brakes and your legs are still in motion and you're going
down. Do you
down?
think that's just it? Or is it just
visually,
the camera, the viewing angle we get on it or something like that? Well,
they're on the embankment or, so you're not looking just horizontally. They're usually kicked up so you see
you get the view of
you're
the
on
whole
stage.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfect rake of the stage, and you get to see the bodies just sliding all over the place. It's just horrible.
Water on the track.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. They don't know where it came from, but for the first time on the Ghent 6-day, that they had no beer. So this is a lesson. No beer was served there because of COVID, of course.
Oh,
so that was the deal. So usually the infield people don't even see getting drunk instead of spilling water on the track. I'm assuming.
So tell me, and Jackson, you're forgiven. No, it's just in terms of knowledge, honesty about what a 6-day race is. I'm going to confess, I don't truly know. 6 days. That would be hell. That would be a fucking nightmare. Paul, do you know the concept or the premise behind it?
It's a series of races. They have partners. I'm not a trackie by any means, but I know a little bit about it because there was beer involved. And fair enough. And it's in Belgium. Yeah, the Ghent one it's famous. That track is like 100 and it's not even like a 220 or 210 or whatever they're doing. It's a shorter track. It's almost all in banks.
Oh shit.
So, but everybody has a partner. I think there's different events. For 6 days. There's accumulated score, but it's usually typically a band and it's a festival. It's like it gets people out from their homes and meet and listen to music.
You would go if there was opportunities. Would you go if there were opportunities in the States?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That whole idea, and I remember reading years ago about 6 days. I thought, man, it would be so great to have a track here in Spokane, because that would just get people involved with cycling in some way or another. That we talking about crits, same thing. Yeah. You have a purpose. I don't know. Alcohol and stuff, and you look at like what Tulsa Tough has done. It is a festival, and you make it a festival for 6 days. Only the Belgians can drink for 6 days straight.
Oh, man.
On 10% alcohol. Yeah. Beers. So. Like to see someday. I'd like to see a Belgian cyclocross race. Kortrijk, I think I've seen enough. A 6-day.
Madison Square Garden, at one point in time, had a track.
This was the hotbed.
Yeah.
Well, United States was a hotbed because of the Madison Square Garden, and then it turned into cars came in and no one wanted to ride a bike and kind of died away.
I think especially for our limited sense of attention span here in the United States, instant results, instant reactions. I think it would be like a crit race, but like you say, there's a band, there's food, there's beer, there's wine, there's screaming. I think it'd be just
a blast.
Ideal. Am I the only one who's raced a track in this room?
Yep.
I've got a lot of experience, actually.
You do?
Yeah. I thought I'd let you guys know.
You're a Madison expert.
Yeah.
You're the hand slings and everything like that. So,
no, I've never raced a day on the track.
Do you guys have any desire to do so?
I did in the day.
Yeah.
There was a guy here in town, Chris Vogel, who was actually would go to the Olympic trials and stuff, and he, you have to be certified to actually race. So another guy, God, what was his name?
You don't have to be certified if you just started doing it in the 80s.
I know.
You're safe.
But I mean, you do a track course and,
Yeah.
And you always know the roadies, they used to say at Marymore, is because at the line they would throw a bike. You don't throw a bike with fixed gear.
No,
you're going to break a collarbone.
Yeah.
Skull bong. Yeah. Roadie.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
There he goes sliding down the track.
Yeah. I remember I was the first person on Marymore with look pedals.
They didn't like that back then.
I almost got in trouble for it. Yeah.
Because you separate from your bike.
Yeah, I was getting some looks. The great Phil Miller was looking at me going, oh man, Then again, I also raced the track once in sneakers because I forgot my cycling shoes. My dad made me race in them. In terms of time, story number 2, here comes the Boom. The organizers of the Super Prestige in Boom, or Boom?
I believe so.
Yeah. Have confirmed the race will go ahead amid the latest COVID-19 restrictions in Belgium after some confusion over his starting contract. Tom Pidcock, Jackson, there you go, will be on the line along with Wout van Aert, both making their season debuts. COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are surging. Belgium imposed new restrictions last week, leading Antwerp World Cup organizers Galazzo to call off Sunday's event. However, the Super Prestige organizers will proceed with their race in Boom, less than 20K away from Antwerp. That just sounds very interesting and politically motivated, depending on your side of the coin there.
I think it's a litigious
situation. Yeah. So here we go again. COVID thoughts and predictions, and especially when it looks like in terms of the fact that we here in the United States have a gigantic carrot on the horizon for our chase. We have the World Championships. Are there any fears, or what do you get? I mean, I guess I'm looking for optimistic or pessimistic predictions in terms of whether or not we're going to have a really cool World Championships here in a few months. I don't know who wants to go first, because personally I'm thinking we're fucked. But anyway.
Well, I think for a sporting event, I think the athletes themselves are being so heavily looked upon that I know that they'll probably, I don't, knock on wood, I hope to predict that they won't be the ones bringing anything here, but I can't make the prediction.
I wonder if they're going to be able to even travel here.
Yeah. But I will say, on the Pidcock and Wout side of it all, part of me wonders when's Van der Poel going to show up, or if Van der Poel is going to show up. And I think slowly but surely my prediction of last year is coming true, that Van der Poel is going, screw cyclocross, screw the off-road stuff. I can do something on the road here. Yeah. I can win a Worlds on the road. So I don't know if we're going to see as much of Van der Poel in the next coming. I don't know.
He did announce that he is. I think his first event is on the 26th.
Oh, so he's going to do something.
He's doing cyclocross, and if you watch GCN, their show today that was posted,
he's going to have to make it.
It's
focus.
a good. Daniel Lloyd, they're at that Zwift Academy thing.
Sure.
And they asked him 19 questions while he was on doing Zwift what's your favorite event if he had to choose between road, cross, or mountain. And he took a while, and he picked mountain bike.
No shit.
Yeah, it was his favorite. Yeah.
Then he'll be good at it.
Yeah.
I like mountain biking when the ramp is there.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you want me to take my side?
I do.
All right.
I'm just looking at time.
I think, because my wife and I have been trying to get over to see her family over in Germany for the since COVID hit. It was a wash. And then this year, talking to her aunt over there, they're actually, Germany, which is I found strange, has less vaccination than the United States.
Really?
But getting over there, even before this last little variant that slowed everything down, the trouble for back.
Yeah.
And that is you have to be tested. If you're positive, even if you're vaccinated, it's 10 or 14 days of quarantine.
Yeah.
So, for us, it's like, well, my wife, I'm going to say it right now, she's vaccinated and popped positive, asymptomatic. That was a couple of shows back. I had to Zoom, and I wasn't going to, because I live with a lady. I'm not going to possibly bring it around and poison everybody else. But, those are the things that, what would happen if we're positive, have the money or saved enough vacation time for us to get back?
Yeah.
So I think for people traveling from Belgium and Holland or the Netherlands, that are coming over, going into the United States, they'll have to be tested, and it'll be okay. Going into a country, it depends on what country, but it's usually a test, like a day before on that flight. If you're negative, then you can go in. So it's a little easier to go into Europe than coming into the United States. So I think they're going to be fine. United States, I was at a basketball game, GU basketball game. I've seen all the home games so far, and that place is packed, and we all wear masks, and it keeps going. I shouldn't say we all wear masks. There's a few people who aren't wearing masks. Yeah, but we're still rolling around, so I'm going forward. So I'm saying it's going to work. It's going to work.
I hope it works.
Yeah.
I really do. I think this is, just don't let it get fucked up.
Yeah, I think the thing is I think although as small as cyclocross is to the United States, which probably 10% of the people know what that is, even cyclists don't even know what it is. Yeah. It is a way to show off. It is a way to show off America to those European countries that are tuning in. So I think there's some people involved that would be working hard to make sure it does happen. Yeah. So
I will say, on the cycling side of things, I think we might be looking at the first year we don't see Mathieu van der Poel in the rainbow bands. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's either going to be Pidcock or Wout van Aert this year.
You don't think he's just going to come out of nowhere and surprise you? Well, but who's been Iserbit has been crushing it. So
Toonarts.
Do you think? Yeah, I would love to see Toonarts do it just because. I
like that guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's, these poor guys.
Iserbit is a good guy too. He doesn't know how to drink a Quermont beer. Oh, he had one cyclocross, and he had this big, huge goblet of Quermont beer, and he took a drink, and there's a picture. Running out of his nose, and so he's Belgian. You'd think he would know how to drink that stuff.
Yeah. Isn't that in the DNA?
Yeah, it should.
Oh my God,
should be.
Oh my God. Okay, you guys, I got to switch gears in terms of training, and not in terms of training, in terms of time. I was reading my copy ahead of myself. Our topic of the show, I want to talk to you guys about training fads. All right, and this comes from a little perspective from a news story that has been just released just recently. In case you guys didn't know, Peloton has halted hiring across all departments effective immediately during an all-hands meeting on Friday. This is according to CNBC. The news comes a day after Peloton slashed its full-year outlook amid slowing momentum for its fitness products. Okay, it wasn't immediately clear on how long the hiring freeze is going to last, but Peloton's management team has hinted to analysts during a conference call Thursday that it would be making cost cuts in the near future to realign with its sluggish revenue and user growth. It dropped 35% on Friday, wiping off more than $9 billion of its market value. Shares have dropped about 63%. Invested heavily in air freight to speed deliveries from overseas, yada, yada, yada. So basically, I guess we start with thoughts on Peloton. Thoughts on that. Before I want to get into it being fad or not, thoughts on its longevity. What do you think the reasons were for the drop? And is it just a fad? Is Peloton something like this? I've never done it, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But it is a cycling based workout.
Something that I think about it is that, first of all, it never really picked a market. It like the reason why like Wahoo is so successful, or Tax, or all these other market, cyclists that want to train hard and train for the summer, or just want to keep fit.
Yeah.
That is a market, But I think what they tried to capitalize on was the whole like Soul Cycle type of environment that they were really trying to capitalize on. But the thing with Soul Cycle is that there's a community to that. Everybody's in there together. We're doing this. You got this, guys.
Yeah.
And there's that atmosphere. The lights are dim. There's something about it. But then with this, like when you're staying home, it's in your own. I mean, yeah, you are staying home, but it's not that environment. You aren't in a group together. And so it's tough because when you try and like focus so hard on a group of people that are like such a community, it will eventually fizzle because it is just a solo thing. And it's tough because it's a subscription service too.
Yeah.
So eventually when they go bankrupt, or if they go bankrupt, and everybody's got these Pelotons, they're not making new videos. Like,
they're live classes though. Yeah. So
it's like, some of them are live classes. Some of them are like these, like pretty much like a system workout.
Sure.
But what happens when they don't make anymore? What happens when they're not new anymore? They're just the same thing over and over. Then it just kind of becomes a redundant thing. I mean, we're seeing with rowing now. Rowing machines are the new fad, and they're like the new Peloton, but they're rowers. So it's like, I don't know. It was a great idea in the moment, but I think they definitely took advantage of the hype around it at the moment.
In COVID.
Yeah. It was a great COVID invention, if you think about it.
Paul, got any insight?
I can't argue any of those points, and I think just to take it a little further, I think the big point is that there was a general public, interest that to get on this, and the trend for spin, workouts have been a big thing. Now you could do it at your home. My parents bought you remember the Nordic track?
Oh, sure.
All those things take up so much space. The next thing you know, there's clothes drying on it. It's like that's all it is.
Yeah.
All indoor, even weights. People who buy weights, they have a tendency. If you have, like you said, a community, there's a sense of obligation. You get to know the people, and you're going to that.
That guilt.
Yeah, and then that's like they're going to say, "Hey, Paul, I didn't see you last week." Well, pulled a hamstring, or but you feel obligated. But if you have no, skin in the game, it's like I already paid for it. It's just sitting there. Yeah. I don't have to do it. I'll do it tomorrow. Just like a diet, like anything that's fad oriented, will stay away from it for right now. But I think that's their problem, is that they didn't have a target. They just like get everybody. And of course, we're wishing as cyclists that maybe get more people in cyclists, become cyclists. Maybe it did a few, but it's not fun working indoors. Working out indoors.
Does Zwift fall under the same potential category? That's my big. That's why I
think not, for the simple fact that it's targeting. Yeah. Like you said, they're hardcore cyclists. There's a few people that are like coming into it, and they're getting some kind of huge reward because they're beating so and so, or doing these races that there is. It's activated, as opposed to being listening it's like being preached to. Come on, stand up, spin. You know, that type of
fucking
thing.
hate
It's
that
like
shit. Yeah,
you're in
yeah.
control of your own destiny.
Yeah.
You know.
I think what's also really smart that Zwift did is one, I think that there's such a nerdy side to cycling. Like we all get into the gear, we all get into the equipment, and so does Zwift. You can pick your bike, your wheels, your shoes. You can pick all that stuff for yourself, so you can look completely different from everybody else or the same. So on Peloton, we're all in this together. Flashy I can get that Peloton didn't have, and I think that's really smart. And that gaming aspect of Zwift is also super interesting because it draws in the gamers of cycling as well. It's its own weird niche, and they just perfected it.
Yeah.
Well, you can look at the advertisement.
Yeah,
You've seen a Zwift, advertisement. Who's on it?
they've got the pros.
Garrett Thomas, Matthew Van Der Poel.
Yeah.
I mean, all the people we recognize.
Mhm.
No one else does it. Is some guy wondering where his wife is, and he hears moaning, and she's not. He thinks, "Oh my God, it's," and then she's working out on the machine. I mean, it's for the general public. Not that it's a bad thing, but it just reiterates what
One
we're
would
saying.
think that something addressed to a larger audience would just flat out guaranteed be more of a successful concept. Okay, I've got Peloton. This is released to the entire global population. Just in terms of what's the word I'm looking, demographic, it would be more successful. But when you're talking about the amount of money that is invested into something like Peloton versus the amount of money invested into something like Zwift. I mean, I don't know the dollars that Zwift has put into it, but I'm assuming it's obviously, they didn't have to buy out other companies. They didn't have to necessarily invest in major shipping and industry costs like that. I mean, and the great thing about it, you have to admit, with Zwift is you buy your trainer from somebody like Wahoo. You buy this, you buy that from somebody else. You buy an Apple TV from Apple. You buy this from them. They are capitalizing upon stuff you may hopefully already have.
And another thing I was thinking about is it's like, this is such like a specific, like that Zwift targets, because like we're willing to spend like a lot of money just so we can like ride indoors.
Yeah.
Because like is some random ass person from like Milwaukee, for instance, gonna want to buy a Wahoo fan because they're hot during their Peloton session? No.
Yeah.
Because it's I don't know, it seems not specific enough of a product.
And my wife has a friend who's moved up from San Diego. She's a fellow nurse. She's a travel nurse right now. A 29er, kind of like a touring bike, but could be, And she fell in love with it. She bought it in midsummer, and it's like, now what do I do? It's dark when I get home from work. So
tough.
she goes, could you help me find a trainer? And she goes, I don't want anything. I don't care about plugging into anything. To her, like Zwift
You're
could
like,
be
I
the
got
next
4 sets
thing.
of rollers
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
basement. You're good.
Exactly. So under one, and we're trying to find a training for a 29er is kind of hard.
Oh,
bet.
shit.
Yeah. So
Believe it or
they're
not, I
making
have one
tracks
for a
making-
26.
Do you?
Yeah. Old
Well.
school. It's on my
But-
wife's bike.
That's the type of person. If you get a cyclist, they're apt to. I bet you anything. If she saw Zwift right now, she's just so new into it. But if she really continues on, I mean, how, like,
Sure.
you got bit by the bug just in the last couple of years, and it's still fresh in my mind when you start racing or whatever. It's just like that's on your mind all the time. It's pretty close to what that is for her right now.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, she didn't want to race, but she just like loves to ride her bike. So, yeah.
And not to get too far into the weeds on this.
No. This is fine.
But I mean, for instance, I think Zwift is such a special tool because like my girlfriend, who before a year or 2 years ago, was never really into cycling. I mean, for instance, she was always like, she kind of fought it a little bit. She was like, I don't know if that sounds fun to me. And then like a thing like Zwift comes along to where you don't have to leave your house. You don't have to be cold. You don't have to kit up. You don't have to do all that stuff. And you can just stay there, and you can practically get the exact same like not exact same ride experience, but you can hit a hill and it feels like a hill.
Yeah.
Like where else do you find that? Like that's such an interesting thing. You're not going to find that on your old stationary bike. You're never going to find that unless you increase the resistance. Like this is such a cool and special piece of technology that really isn't in any other market. I mean, running can't do it.
So what separates a fad from a fixture? I put down 2 words: sustainability and innovation. How could a company like, and I want to talk about Peloton and Zwift, and I also want to talk about System and what Wahoo and the Sufferfest have done in terms of innovation and maintaining sustainability. What do they need to do in your vision, in your our consumer-based perspectives as cyclists? What would they need to do to continue on or to build? Let's start with Peloton. What would a company like Peloton need to do? What are they acting right now, or have they just invested way too much and they're too far into the dark, into the hole to dig themselves out of it?
See, it's so tough with Peloton because it's like, I mean, first of all, for the ones that know, Peloton is such a specific word. If you take it anywhere out of the realm of like cycling, then it's no longer the essence of what it originally was.
Oh, and they ruined the word for us. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, are we still going to use it? Of course.
But, yeah.
But it's difficult. If they make like a treadmill, it's no longer Peloton. It's what else is it? And I think they really went hard on their bike, but then you get the bike, but what else can you add? And we as consumers want to add all the time. And so it's like, oh, great. Now I'm stuck.
Sure.
And so they can't really go anywhere. They can make weights, they can make water bottles and stuff like that, but what else can they do? And so I think ultimately they just went so hard in on this bike that they kind of pigeonholed themselves.
That's a great interesting perspective.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think too, the thing is Zwift is, like you mentioned, Pat, about they don't have a lot of hardware involvement, so that cost is kind of out there. So they can take what they're going to invest to create new interests, as new courses and they'll be able to like fine tune and
worlds.
There's something else that came out. There's a couple of more things that you can do on Zwift that they're changing their new, like when you get on, it'll describe what course you're doing and how many, a little more detail and user friendly. So, they're able to put it into the software where that's where it really comes into to play. Well, what can you do with Peloton? I mean, you have a screen in front of you and there's somebody cheering you on. That will get dry after a while, And I think that's what's happening. It's just people like, it's so high energy that, at a certain point you just I don't feel like somebody's shouting at me, go harder, stand up, pedal backwards. I don't know.
Makes me think of aerobics in the 80s. It makes me think of Zumba. It makes me think of what are some of the other major jazzercise fitness-based fads, and hence my term, that have come and gone. Spinning. Spinning was the first thing. Schwinn did spinning, and that was the huge thing. And now we have hot indoor cycling where the weather's the humidity's turned up, or we have the lights out, or we have all those types of things. And they're trying to reinvent or keep things going, but in essence it is still a matter of catering to a larger populace that is not that diehard group that is going to come and go. As a cyclist, I don't want necessarily somebody yelling at me what to do. I've been doing the Sufferfest for probably a good portion of your life, Jackson.
Yes.
And because, and this is where I want to talk about innovation, because they keep adding new videos, because they keep adding yoga, they keep adding strength, they're adding things like that, which I can only imagine is a gigantic cost. Keeping things going like that. Now, the great thing about System, Wahoo System, I keep calling it Sufferfest. It's not that anymore. It's System. They have, the ability to create workouts with people like Neil Henderson based upon just using stock footage, which they have to purchase the rights to from existing bike races. So there's never going to not be television footage for them to create a workout to. So as long as you have coaches who are willing to create workouts and you're catering to a specific piece of the pie, you're not trying to grab the whole pie because the whole pie is flaky. Wow, I did a flaky crust.
Flaky crust.
I didn't even
which is
need to do
desirable on a pie, but
It
not
is,
so much
but
when you
not
have
when
a
you're dealing
business.
with people.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And
Very bad.
And so I keep thinking about what Zwift here in the cycling industry. I'm never going to buy a Wahoo kicker bike for $3,500.
No.
I'm never going to buy a Watt bike. I'm never going to buy, some of these things like that. But I will always hop on my trainer in the middle of winter. And the fact that I can now ride in a virtual world with other people, except Paul, and do these types of things and have this availability is never going to be something that's going to go away. If anything, during the winter.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you: Would you think about purchasing the Wahoo bike? Because that you can actually
the kicker bike,
bike, yeah, you can actually create the hoods, the shifting
Yeah.
exactly to match whether it's Shimano type of thing. You can dial in 175 cranks, 172 fives.
Yeah.
So I mean,
To
to
be
me,
a-
if you're going to buy a stationary bike, that one makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
You're going to get it really dialed in.
But
You're
to
gonna
be
customizable.
1,000% honest, if I until they tell me that riding on a Wahoo kicker is detrimental to my carbon fiber frame,
Mhm.
no fucking way.
Yeah.
Because my bike is fit to me. Thanks, Bike Fit Sam. My bike is fit to me. I don't need to worry about bike. I can hop on my own bike and be comfortable as hell, unhook it, go for a ride with you, put it back on. It's filthy right now on the trainer.
You're supposed to wash it when we're
I
home.
was supposed to watch when I got home. I know I was, but I didn't. And but I'm no offense to Wahoo, who's
Well,
a
I'm
show
gonna-
sponsor. I'm not going to spend $3,500 on that. I'm going to buy new wheels.
I'm going to counter that because my bike is precious, and if I had
Yeah.
to spend an extra, what is it?
Okay, I
Yeah,
see what you're
I mean a Wahoo kicker bike for $3,000, $3,500,
Yeah.
and preserve my bike, because the wear and tear on that, because pretty soon I'm going to have to buy a stupid disc brake bike, and I'm trying to
You're gonna have
keep
to.
that. I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to push it back as far as I can. So, I mean, if I was going to spend, to me, that makes more money than like the core or even the kicker. I mean, that's another couple of grand more, I understand. But if I had a bike room that, listen, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, realize in Spokane by mid-October, I have to
I'm
be
inside.
indoors.
Yeah.
If I want to keep that. To me, that's a because that systems, we talked about it, the Wahoo systems. I like it better than Zwift. You
Yeah.
know how I'm not into cartoons. I'm not into playing games. I'd rather not be indoors, but if I'm indoors, then I have a selective. With systems, they have GCN, and I actually like some of their they don't have all the GCN plugged in,
Yeah.
but they have a couple of them, which makes sense to me, the way they're trained, their format. And then they have like where I can watch Sunday in Hell.
Yeah.
And you can
I'm
do
doing
that, and
on-
it's like
I'm doing that this weekend. It's on my training
like
program.
an hour
Yeah.
46.
Yeah.
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 So I mean, those are the things that it's different to me. It's way more entertaining than chasing a cartoon or even on my rollers, which I'll do touch occasionally now.
Yeah.
Just because, boy, on a static trainer, you pick up some bad habits. And
You do.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday's ride, I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'm like square. Yeah. So anyway,
And they do have the option where, let's say I've seen a Sunday in Hell so many times I don't want to watch it anymore. I can change what the
no, that's
display
not
is.
possible.
Yeah, but I can change the display so it's minimized and I can watch something else on my screen while the workout still plays underneath. So
and with erg mode, it's always going to be
yeah.
at that level.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think something that's really special about like these companies is that actually, I was talking with somebody over the weekend about kind of a similar topic, but if you've ever heard of the GTA or Grand Theft Auto series, it's fun. It's a funny comparison, but the parent company that makes all of these is called Rockstar Games, and ultimately we were trying to figure out like what has Rockstar really done. They've made Red Dead Redemption and they've made Grand Theft Auto. And they are like a very wealthy gaming company, because you want to know how many Grand Theft Autos there've been 5, and like ultimately that's not that many in the grand scheme of things. And Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out for, I can't name how many years. It's been out for so long, but they just keep doing more and more and more. They're adding everything you can.
Wow.
The entire city of LA is on that game, but people keep buying it. And why is that? Is because they don't have to change anything. They just have to make more in that game. It's the same with Zwift. They don't, like, ultimately.
Do the hookers get more expensive as the game goes?
They could. I don't know. But ultimately, Zwift does the same thing. They don't. It's the essence is the same. I could imagine from the beta testers.
Oh yeah.
It's really just the same thing, but the worlds are bigger. Things are like they've added
more
more.
routes. Yeah.
Exactly. Like system. It's the same thing from when it was originally the first Sufferfest, but the technology's different. They just grow and grow and grow. They don't have to change because they have picked such a specific market that you're never
going to lose that group.
Exactly.
It's winter somewhere.
Yeah, they know like money's coming in no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's a smart idea, I think.
Well, I think that's, cycling too. I mean, that's what Zwift is really focused on. They're getting back, going full circle now. Zwift
does have a running community.
Yes, they do.
Technology's not there yet, but
but it'll get there. I'm sure. And same with systems. Wahoo Systems, to them, they have a true target that they can get good feedback as the general public. Again, Grand Theft Auto, there's probably a hardcore following, and a few people are like, "That's still around. What's this about?" and get hooked. Yeah. And just kind of slowly grow, as opposed to a big punch, knockout punch.
Mm-hmm. Try
and get you like. Yeah. And we made our money, and then everybody's okay. The party's over. Now what? You know, and I think that's what's happening to Peloton.
Unless they go into rowing, which has already been taken.
Yeah.
Rowing's a new thing.
Well, yeah,
it
already.
Is. And it'll go. We've seen this before. Rowing was when ergs came out. Remember when there was a series of ergs that came out?
Yeah.
They were awesome. Everybody had to have one.
In college.
And the next thing you know, they were hanging. People are drying their clothes on them.
Yeah,
down in their basement.
Oh yeah, I've got an elliptical and a treadmill upstairs.
There you go.
The fads
that both hold
same
clothing.
Old thing.
Yeah.
When it's in your house, there is a problem. There is some people that do have the discipline.
Yeah,
I think you have to go to a place where you have people that are yoga. For me, I was way more consistent when I went to a studio.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I thought, well, I've done it for 3 years, I know what I'm doing. But it's like, I'll do it when I come home. You know, and I'm not. There's no.
It's so easy to just blow it off.
Yeah.
It's so easy to blow it off.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope we solved the problem there. I don't think we did, but I hope we at least expressed our pain in the ass opinions about a problem. So the fun part now for the show, part 1 of the Packfiller Holiday Gift Guide. You notice it's on red paper. That wasn't actually
very Christmas.
I would love to say that's intentional, but I just ran out of paper in my printer, so that's all I had was some cardstock red paper. Brought to you by our friends at Competitive Cyclists, people. You prefer the LBS, right? We all do. But sometimes supplies are low. Sometimes the LBS just doesn't carry that specific item, let alone your size. Clothing, for instance. We prefer the Competitive Cyclist if you need to get it now. Use the link at packfiller.com to show your love whilst getting what you need. So part 1 of the gift guide, I put an assignment out to the boys today. Stocking stuffers. We're gonna take our gift guide all the way through to the last show before Christmas, and you guys can all find out our personal opinions on what you think, and you can tell us we're full of shit. And by the way, we're gonna judge each other's choices on a scale of yep, nope, or I guess. It's kind of like when you open it up, your present's like, yay, I gotta insert blank here, or I got a blank, or fuck, Grandma got me another, one of those other, so yay, no, or all right, okay. So we're starting right now in the lowest price scale. Stocking stuffers, gifts under $50. Okay, I know that's expensive, but gifts under $50. We're in the cycling world. Everything's fucking expensive. For friends who ride, for the office gift exchange that you actually plan to choose your own gift, or flat out for yourself. So each of us have done the homework. We will share our insights and stuff to get. So we're looking for 5 items each of 50 and under. So I guess we just go like our first, our second, our third.
Sure.
Some of us are going to share probably ideas, and we might cancel each other out. I found some of mine, not to plug the sponsor too heavily, on Competitive Cyclist. They had a Competitive Cyclist, a stocking stuffer page. So I just kind of picked and choose from there which ones I think were cool, and you guys can judge from there. So for example, I'll go first because,
Time out.
Yeah.
As soon as I finished with my list, I realized, am I purchasing this for who?
Because things you would want, probably.
Well, I would want. Okay,
stuffer. Yeah.
because
yeah.
we'll soon find out, obviously, my direction. It was for me, apparently.
Okay.
So,
okay. No, that's cool.
Because the people in this, there's going to be a few people in this. Why in the fuck would I do with that?
Well, that's
So,
what's fun
anyway.
is the two of us can go.
Well, I felt
No,
a
I
little,
wouldn't
I
fucking
guess
want
I'm
that.
trying to exercise the demons of my guilt. Is like, God, I'm selfish because this is all what I want.
No, that's what we're
But I
doing.
guess that's Christmas,
and
isn't
we're
it?
sharing. We're sharing our greed
Okay.
for everybody else to experience, and if
Okay.
they would agree with us,
Gotcha.
so they could
Gotcha.
tell other
Gotcha.
people, hey, if you're putting something in my stocking, for
All
example,
right.
put in the Wahoo Ticker heart rate monitor now for $39.99 right now, ANT and Bluetooth. That sucker could pick up your heart rate from everything. I personally would be jazzed, even though I have my strap, which I'm still waiting for those fuckers to send me the new ones. I'm not letting them off the hook. I'm now 2 to 3 weeks out on my ship. But anyway, I won't vent.
I've got one of those. So Neener.
Yeah, exactly. So the Wahoo one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah. So $39.99. Yep, nope, or I guess, Jackson.
Yep, because I was looking at that.
Were you? You're
was an
seriously
option.
thinking about it? Yeah. Paul?
I would have poo-pooed it, but now that I have it,
Now you have it. Yeah. So okay, there I got 2 yeps. So
Yep.
who wants to go next for their first item?
I picked because the body at my age is really important. The trigger point Grind X foam roller.
Ooh,
That's $49.99.
Wow.
Yep.
That right there,
Yeah,
Clark, is a
man,
high
there's-
quality
That
item.
is. Yeah.
Nothing like a roller when you hit one of those bad spots. You're like,
Yeah. I need one for my back.
In fact, I was thinking about ordering it after I saw
Regardless.
that.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Jackson, first item.
Okay, I'm starting off. I'm not going to preface it. I will say a nice tub of chamois butter Euro style cream for $19.99.
I would
Good
have
stuff.
loved to have heard your reasoning for choosing that, but
Well, I was going to say first is the worst.
yeah.
We got to start off the worst.
Yeah.
I would say, yep. I didn't chamois cream until probably within the last 5-6 years.
I used to because I had Oslos and they had real chamois in there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you wash it, it was like sandpaper if you
Yeah.
didn't. So, and I've always used it just for, even with synthetic stuff with
didn't-
longer rides. I don't do it on short rides.
Yeah, I didn't until
That's
I
good
started
stuff.
getting into longer stuff where I'm doing 100 or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that, especially
Yeah.
gravel. Oh, fuck. You're bouncing around your ass all the time. It hurts like hell. Okay, so we got 3 yeps on our first one.
Perfect.
My second item, and I swear I'm not kissing up, the Scratch Labs Feed Zone Cookbook. It's got all kinds of stuff, little rice cakes, all kinds of egg stuff like that. I mean, I would be happy if that was in my
Price,
stocking.
please.
Oh, $24.95, half price, under the $50. Yep or nope?
Absolutely. I have it. I've had the whole series.
You do?
And that particular one I use more than the others.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Jackson,
I'm-
as somebody who kind of cooks.
As somebody who rarely cooks,
Okay.
I
I didn't want to insult you.
well, I'll open it up, let everybody know that I do not. Yeah. But yeah, I think that is a thing that I need to start doing, and I would really like to do it through a company that I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'll plug it a little bit. The rice bars are fantastic.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
They
do
are.
savory, sweet. Belgian waffle recipe. I've
Haven't
used
done
them.
that yet.
I have several times. I have a waffle maker and everything. It is the closest thing I've tasted. There's a small little company that's going to open it up. Well, they were well, they're still there.
Yeah.
The Scoop, they used to do waffles.
Yep.
It's Hidden Bagel. They do a Belgian waffle there. So
In the same location?
they're expanded out. It used to be a beauty salon, and
They're
they're
gonna start
going. It's called the Hidden Bagel.
They're doing waffles there again?
Coffee and bagels.
Oh,
and,
thank
yeah.
God.
Meeting place.
Yeah.
Meeting place.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy
So,
shit, yeah.
But that, and then also they have this porridge, breakfast porridge, which has rice, leftover cooked rice, and an egg, and some milk, and banana, and cinnamon, anti-inflammatory. Seriously, that is the book to buy. Good choice.
Good.
all
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying.
really close to
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
buy that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Paul, who was second? Was Jackson or Paul was second?
yeah,
yeah,
second.
yeah.
I went with, because not only for cycling, I love wool socks. My wife knits them. So I went with the Juro HR Plus merino wool socks for $24.95. I got 2 pair.
2 pair.
Yeah, you picked it too.
Did you pick that too?
Wow, I really, really like the same exact thing
Yeah,
as Paul
yeah,
does.
Yeah.
And he's got a picture
in
of
the
it.
Arrive Blue.
Yeah, yeah.
In the Arrive Blue. So that's a yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously. 2
And
pair
you?
of those. I would go with that. I would say yep to
Yeah.
that. Yeah, absolutely. You can never have enough good pair of cycling socks.
And they wick moisture like none other.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they like if I wear
summer even summer.
Yeah.
Yep. I will
Summer even.
Oh
Yeah.
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 I will say when I wear my Veloto shoe covers, I can't wear anything but wool because my feet will get all, not to be gross,
clammy.
sweaty. Yeah,
Yeah.
clammy. Yeah,
Gooey.
Yeah.
Wow.
gooey. That's an
I made it
interesting
gross.
word.
I made it
Yeah,
gross.
you did.
That's
You took
that's
it
a very
one step.
I'm cool
Yeah.
with that. I went too far.
One
I went
step
too far.
dirty. Yeah.
I went too far. So that was your second. My third is, and I seriously went generic on this. If I walked in Christmas morning, reached into my stocking, and I found 5 brand new long stem tubes for $8 a piece, there's no way I would say, "Oh, damn."
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, "That's a generic gift that somebody just went, fuck it, Pat tubes. He's
Yeah.
gonna need them." Kidding me? 5 tubes, long stem. I don't care if they're
What
fucking
manufacturer?
light shit or
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
like that. I think I saw they had specialized tubes for
Yeah.
$8 a piece,
Mm-hmm.
so $40.
Yeah.
I would be like, yes. So you can't say
Yeah.
nope to that
Long
unless
stem.
you're fully tubed.
Well, I would. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I would say, well, what I'd be given if those were in my stockings. I would say, hey, Pat, I
Yeah.
got something.
yeah.
My mom doesn't know I ride tubulars.
Yeah.
I've been beating it on her
Yeah.
forever.
and they don't know how long a stems you need.
No,
See,
they don't.
That's the problem. So
I-
you
yeah.
can't expect somebody to just magically figure out how long your stems
Yeah.
need to be.
I was gonna say long stem tubes are worth their weight in gold because you can't find like a 60 millimeter
Yeah.
just anywhere. Like
No,
you got to
yeah.
search for that type of stuff. So those are
Yeah.
that's another high quality.
really
item.
nice,
Yeah.
Clark. Really nice. Paul?
Well, on that
We're all
token,
getting giddy on this, I noticed. We're all
Yeah.
getting kinda happy with
I know,
this.
well, I think this is where I'm going to lose you guys.
Uh-oh.
A 12-ounce can of Continental tubular glue. It comes with a brush.
12 ounce?
Yeah, 12 ounce. I do a lot of
That's
tubulars. so-
big.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But that'd get you a long ass time.
Yeah.
Like this.
It lasts me a year. In fact, the last can actually dried out before I used it all up.
No shit.
Because I don't flat on tubulars.
That's a good gift, though.
Yeah.
That's a good gift for the tubular rider.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yep. I'm going to say, for me, I'd be like, what the fuck am I going to do with
If you're a
this?
cyclocross person, you would want
Cyclocrosser.
that.
Yeah.
They probably
Yeah.
go through
Yeah.
cans.
How
of
much?
it. It is, I think it's like 40.
Okay, so it's under 50.
39.
It's
Yeah,
under 50. And that'd get you the year, at least a year. Yeah.
See, I would be like personally, I'd be like, oh well, I don't know how I'd use these. However, I'd be pretty excited to see the look on Paul's face. Oh, what new?
I got him glue.
Yeah,
glue, yeah.
yeah.
So that's a yeah.
What? Yeah, okay. Did you have a
Oh,
fourth?
yeah, yeah,
Are we
yeah.
on third or fourth? We're on
Third.
third.
I would look for, because you can never have enough of this, Tempo Microtex Classic Physique Bar Tape.
Oh.
I almost went with that. I almost did. Yeah.
I was tempted with another one, but since I have Aero bars, there was another one that wasn't as stretchy, so
Uh-huh.
So you
putting
need,
it in right here.
you need the stretchy.
You need the stretchy.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Physique makes some good bar tape.
Do they?
exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I
I
seriously
think
don't know anymore, but yeah.
You know, I've had bike ribbon. Well, first of all,
Bonotto.
Bonotto
Yeah.
was my
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what I
bike
want,
ribbon.
Then I
And-
was a junior and I had multiple color Bonotto because you
yeah.
had to do that. That was just
and
the rule.
Bonotto was like a I don't know,
It's just thin plastic cellophane tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was
Not sticky.
slippery as shit.
Yeah.
Of course.
It'd rain and you,
Yeah. If you didn't have gloves
Yeah.
on, you were fucked.
yeah,
Yeah, your hands would slide off. It was really stupid
Yeah.
now that I think about it, but it looked cool.
yeah, it did.
I'd take handlebar tape.
Yeah,
in a minute.
I'm agreed.
In a minute. It's
Yeah.
got to be black though. Have we
Yep.
passed the point of white handlebar tape?
Depends
Or
on the
orange.
saddle.
Hey,
Orange is bad.
mine is black with orange polka dots.
That's cool. I like the little variation
Little
of color. in
splash
there.
of color?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
cool. I have that on my
Alright.
trainer bike.
Paul doesn't.
No.
Are we on fourth already?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, fourth. And this is kind of funny after Paul said this. Right now, on on competitive cyclists. Whoa, I mentioned the wrong guys there. Edit that out. I won't. A Grand Prix 5,000 clincher tire. Continental Grand Prix 5,000. Usually $83 is $45.99 right now.
Way.
I don't believe a tire could ever be $83. That's absolute lunacy.
Well, you should see Vittoria Courses, which came on my bike.
Are they that much?
Their sale price is $71.
Jesus, come on!
That's insane.
Now I have to say I spent $90 for my first set of tubeless.
Yeah,
Tubeless. It was
you're
the
gonna get more
Continental
life out of
5000. It was, tubeless, not tubular.
Oh.
Tubeless. I got some
Yeah.
tubeless wheel set.
Oh.
and I went that route for a while until I got my flat on the road, and I couldn't. It was a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah.
I was done.
Stuff spraying all
But,
over the fucking place. Yeah.
Yeah, so I bought. They weren't in the U.S., so I got them out of England, and they were $90 a piece for the Continental 5000s.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, $45.99 right now. I don't know if I guess I'd be okay with one. The selfish person would be like, I need a set,
Yeah.
but I'd take it.
Yeah.
I'd take it. Would you guys be okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I anything Continental. I love their tires.
Yeah. All right, number 4.
All right, I'm gonna look up the price here, but I was writing down prices and I didn't. But there's a Continental makes a Revo sealant. I know I have tubulars, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is with that,
switch programs here.
I'm gonna find it here.
What?
Yeah, I know. But if you're a person like me, if you train on tubulars,
I like to seal them.
you just put sealant. If you get a flat,
Oh,
if it's a
yeah,
small, you just put the sealant in there, and then you're gonna get it home. You don't have to carry a spare tire.
That's a great.
And then people are like, well, I had this big jug of it, whatever is like $34. I just saw a smaller version of
Yeah.
it. So a small. No, this is it. It's $20.99.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So
yeah.
that's a liter.
Yeah.
That stuff.
yeah.
But my wife has all these big syringes they use for flushing and stuff.
Yeah.
Just carry that.
See, I had
put
to go out
sealant
and
in
buy
there.
my
That's
own
perfect.
syringe.
Yeah.
I had to go out and buy my own syringe
Yeah.
from online or something like that. God. So
That's a
I
good
buy
idea.
that.
So
Jackson?
that's what I do.
Yeah,
What's your
that's
fourth.
I will go for something I've been wanting for a while. Actually, is Thermoflex 2 arm warmers from Castelli. I'm pretty sure
Nice.
you have those.
No, I have Asos.
Oh well, never mind. But either way,
Yeah.
I need some arm warmers. So
Yeah.
Lightweight, more heavyweight.
They're mid-range.
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 Yeah.
Mhm.
So basically perfect all year round, kind of a thing like
Exactly.
that. I don't use my arm warmers enough. I always end up putting on a long sleeve jersey and then getting too hot.
I find that they're perfect for the morning ride.
Yeah.
When it's cold on the way there,
Yep.
but when you start leaving, it's too warm to
Yeah.
keep them on. So
Yeah.
Early spring, early fall.
Yeah.
And that's the times where I use arm warmers. By the time you leave, roll out, it's 50 degrees, too cold.
Yeah.
And then, within an hour or so, we're hit 60 and you're peeling them off up a hill.
Sure.
yeah, exactly.
You're not shedding a whole jersey like I am.
And they're
'cause I'm
small
stupid.
enough that they go right in the jersey.
Okay.
Works
None of us are disagreeing with anybody
No,
yet.
no.
Nobody's like, man.
No, we need some kind of conflict.
My last one. EPO vial. No, I'm kidding. I had a Crank Brothers Multi 17 tool. I carry tools. way
Yes,
too
you do.
much. And
Yes.
Paul's probably going to give me a meh on this one because you don't carry as many tools, do you?
No.
No.
I won in a race a multi-tool from Park. It had like 4, 5, and 6 Allen head.
Sure.
gosh, what else is on there? Like a Flatter or even a Phillips in there.
Yeah.
Just for the small little stuff that you need to get home on. And a spare tube CO2.
Yeah.
When I had clenchers, when I was riding clenchers, so that's all I needed to carry. I use that. I don't think I've ever used that multi-tool.
Shit.
Ever on a ride.
Well, I have one already, but I like this one. It was,
You carry a freaking suitcase of tools.
Too. I'm paranoid because you might need a chain breaker.
I understand if you're doing gravel.
Yeah.
You need.
You do need a chain breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a chain breaker. You need like something like a tool case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was $30, $29.99 for that
bad.
one. But it wasn't my best pick.
No, I give it a yay. I always carry around a set of I'm forgetting the name, Allen keys.
Yeah.
Especially with through axles.
3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6 are the good ones to have with you. Yeah. And if you have a crank problem, you can sometimes combine a 5 and a 6 to get the actual to fit in your crank.
And then, like a number 8 or 9.
Piece them together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, what you got, Paul? What's your last one?
Last one. Motorex. I like Motorex. Motorex is from Switzerland, and they do good lubes and stuff. They're tied into MotoGP and stuff. I've used their grease, and I've used their oils and stuff. Like, kind of spendy. But I like their Motorex.
Sounds overtly sexual, just by the way. But
yeah.
I just thought
Good lubes. Good lubes.
Yeah, good lubes.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome lube. I like the banana. No. I have the Motorex pressure spray bottle. So you put it in there and you pump it. So at bike race, I like having a clean bike. Apparently you don't.
I do too. It's just I was too lazy to do it on Sunday.
So anyway, just, if you're riding through grime, just put a little bit of water in there and you pump it up and you spray down, knock down. It's not high pressure, enough to knock dirt, grime off, that type of thing. So, and that was 25.60.
Refillable too.
Yeah, it's just like a little jug's probably holds maybe half a liter, maybe a little more of water. All you need to do is just get some moisture instead of grinding that dirt in.
Yeah.
So, it's a cool little tool.
I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'd do that. Yeah. Jay, what you got?
My last one is the Gravel King SK tubeless tire in limited edition pink.
You had me until pink.
Yeah.
I believe we have some potential.
Well, the fact that tire, so that tire is I would say probably the best all around gravel tire. It's great in the chunk, but also great on road as well, and all the way up to you can do anything on a 40C tire, anything at all. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
And so the fact that all the way up to their biggest 700C size is only $49.99. That's crazy.
That's great.
Yeah. By a set.
Who makes it?
Panaracer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great set of tires.
You know what? I'm not going to name the company of tires we rode in Belgian Waffle, but I would have preferred those at Gravel Kings.
Really?
For that race.
Really?
I just
For BWR?
I think it's a more reliable tire, and I've had some slippage on the other brand we rode.
Oh, well, I guess they are slicks that we rode. So
yeah. So I don't know. It's a good tire. I don't know if I do pink. If I had pink coming out of my stocking, I'd be like, fuck, it's one tire. I have one pink tire. What am I on? Jumbo Visma?
Yeah.
With the front blue.
Oh, that's right.
The front blue. Yeah.
It was just the first thing that came up, but I was also like, I gotta create some sort of
sure.
sort of talk.
You had to put some conflict in there,
exactly.
and I
And
appreciate
you do like
that.
EF.
That's true.
Both.
Wow, good
Showing
way,
my colors.
nice way to tie it in there.
It all
Paul.
works.
Nice job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's our 50 and under recommendation list. All this stuff, I think, predominantly could all be found on
all of mine.
All mine.
Oh wow. Okay, we can stray if we want to from paying the bills, but it's.
I hate to say it, but that's been my go-to when
Is it?
like
too.
wool socks. I mean, you don't expect your LBS to carry wool socks. They got a run of that.
Yeah.
Oddball stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there we go. Next week we're going to up the price. I think we should go under maybe. I think I said 250, maybe 250 or something like that. So we could.
And 5 of them again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll go from there.
Wow.
And by the way,
I feel rich now.
Yeah,
Seriously.
To you, the listener, send us your recommendations, things that you think would be good, and we will give you a yay, nay, or whatever. Thanks, Grandma, fucking bunny PJs, or something like that, like a Christmas
Never
Story.
old.
Which I can't believe I didn't mention. Christmas Story is a great Christmas movie.
You know what? That
I
every
missed the
year
boat on
that's a
that one.
guaranteed.
Missed the boat on that
I
one.
might push aside Elf for that,
For
but
Christmas
I
Story?
think they're tied.
Yeah.
The problem with Christmas Stories is it's just on all day, every day, and it's
only
just a
on-
guarantee.
only
I mean,
on
that day,
Christmas
that day.
Day.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through since they've started doing that. I just watch I catch it midway and then watch it to where I started. Kind of a thing like that. But great tradition. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we could do an interval every time Ralphie says
fudge, but that's not what I said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
My dad did a tapestry of curse words that still hanging in the atmosphere. Yeah.
Oh man! Ironically, my Whoop strap just said on my phone that I need to prepare to go to sleep. So there we go.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it says go to bed by 9:23 though, so it's letting me know 2 hours early. So
it has to tell you when you're old.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Yeah.
You ready to hear this?
Yeah.
Let's see. Go to bed by 6:13 to reach 100% of tonight's sleep needed.
6:13.
Yep, that's my life.
Wow. Maybe it thinks he's a 4-year-old because he's hanging around with him all day or something like that. Right on. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We are I here in the house. Maybe my wife's upstairs making major financial, dealings or something like that because our Wi-Fi was a little slow tonight. But I've been monitoring the live stream on YouTube and it was kind of skipping in and out, and I apologize for that. And Bender's upstairs; he's mad at the Wi-Fi anyway.
Yeah.
So that's that situation. You can always catch us on Podbean, and you can always obviously catch us anywhere your podcasts. Yeah. We're on Spotify, we're on Stitcher, we're on what's the other one? Pandora. We're on the Pandoras, stuff like that. No, we're not. Yeah, I think we are on Pandora. Fuck, we're on everything.
Yeah.
You think I'd be rich? Thank you, Paul Main.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackson Bulger.